Welcome to the Live from South College podcast. I'm your host, Kathleen Stockham. The Live from South College podcast is your source for all South College activity, including new student information, deep dives into our 100 plus programs and concentrations, tools of the trade, and even live on location from all of our campuses. Great interviews with faculty, staff, deans, and hear from South College students and alumni in their own words. From certificates all the way to doctoral degrees, catch up with Live from South College for the lighter side of helping your dreams find direction. All right. Well, we all love the CSI TV series, right? CSI stands for Crime Scene Investigations. Well, why not have our own CSI South College? Our School of Legal Studies is developing these students to take on the tough job of criminal justice, emergency management, paralegal studies, and so much more. Joining me for this special investigation is the Senior Dean of Professional Studies, Dr. Jennifer Jenkins. Hi, Dr. Jenkins.
How are you?
I am awesome. Thank you for joining me today. I'm excited to get into this topic. We talk an awful lot about healthcare and nursing, so it's really great to change gears and talk a little bit more about some other programs we have, and it's great to have you. Well, it's time to take out the evidence notebook. Here we go. So tell us a little bit more about the School of Legal Studies. What programs do we have?
One of the things that when we talk about our programs, and I'm glad you mentioned nursing, and I think everybody thinks of nursing as being a helping profession, which it is, but I would argue that all of the programs within the School of Legal Studies are also helping professions. We help members of our community every day in difficult times of their lives. And so, oftentimes we don't get the thought of that everybody else does. But we have a bachelor's, an associate, and a post-degree certificate in legal studies or paralegal studies. We have master's, bachelor's, and associate in criminal justice, and also a bachelor's and associate in emergency management. So we kind of run the gamut from whether you are just interested in getting a divorce, whether you've just gotten arrested, or whether the wildfire is at your doorstep. The School of Legal Studies kind of is a one-stop shop for you.
Oh, I love that. I never thought about the parallel to healthcare, but you're exactly right. It's also yet another line of professions that are there at kind of potentially your darkest hour as a consumer. It's a really interesting perspective. Thank you for bringing that up. My goodness. Yep. I don't know about the getting arrested part. Let's hope I never see any of your students. But anyway, so criminal justice seems like a popular pathway, but it's more than just law enforcement. So can you tell us a little bit more about victims advocacy and corrections?
Sure. Oftentimes when I work with prospective students, I have students who are interested in law enforcement, and we certainly need individuals that are interested in law enforcement. The jobs are aplenty, and there is not a community out there that isn't looking for a strong law enforcement group. But criminal justice, you can take it a myriad of different ways. And so victims advocacy, we have graduates who go work with district attorneys' offices and kind of walk victims and their families through the legal process. So what is each hearing going to accomplish? What do they look for at the trial? What is resentencing like? And all of that. We have individuals who are interested in working in corrections, and correctional officers are needed in almost every state and federal prison across the country. And frankly, those jobs pay really well. And so a background in criminal justice will kind of get you that leg up to get into those positions, and then to be promoted through the ranks at those correctional facilities. We have individuals that are interested in working with probation and parole. So those are people who have had some interaction in the criminal justice system. Maybe they were sentenced and are being released, or maybe they've been convicted of a crime that didn't warrant incarceration, but still warrant some probation. And so our probation and parole officers work with those individuals, kind of reestablishing their life on what we would term the right side of the law, and helping them make good decisions, getting employed, finding housing, food support, everything that's needed for them to then go on and be successful post interaction with criminal justice. We also have individuals who are interested in kind of more of the softer areas that we might think of for a psychology or a social work individual. So they work in domestic violence shelters or substance abuse centers, and talk about being able to make a huge impact in somebody's life and really help them on a journey to getting back to a place where they can really be successful and important members of our community. We have students who are like, hey, I don't know what area of criminal justice I want, but I know I want to work with kids. Please, we want individuals to get out there and work with youth in whatever capacity that is. And then we have individuals who are interested in kind of private security, armed security, investigation, that type of thing. So really, the criminal justice is probably not a great analogy, but it is a little bit of a shotgun degree, because there's so many different ways that you can take that degree and use it. Because again, we don't want you to have a degree that you're not then going to go use and impact both you and our communities.
Wow, that's an incredible list. And as you were talking through all of those, the case of children, actually, and I'm so glad you brought that up, that's often an overlooked piece of what, a lot of criminal justice professionals end up having to intervene, is when there is child endangerment, child abandonment, and a lot of other things. I have a very good friend of mine from college who is a child advocacy law enforcement official, and that's what they do, is they're there to advocate on behalf of the child who is a minor, particularly when there is a domestic issue at home where the child is in danger, and that's their job, to sort of get the child through, the process to get them out into a better situation. So that's amazing. And again, I kind of continue to draw the parallel that you made regarding that in healthcare. Again, it's really someone who is going to be kind of a partner to the consumer, who's going to help them through the legal process, but most importantly, be the advocate when there needs to be law enforcement intervention. That's amazing, and it's a very honorable career path to choose. So let's make a little shift and get into the law office. Let's shift to paralegal, which in my opinion is often the real workhorse of a law firm. Paralegals do a lot of research of cases and even prepare legal documents and get pretty deep on cases. And that sounds really exciting for someone who really likes law and justice and research without having to go to law school. So tell us a little bit more about the paralegal path.
Sure. I often have prospective students who are kind of unclear about what a paralegal does. And I often use this analogy: a nurse is to a doctor as a paralegal is to an attorney. And you're right. They are the workhorse of the firm. They are conducting legal research. They are drafting documents. They're interviewing witnesses. They're setting depositions. They're gathering discovery. And all of it is under the supervision of an attorney. And so they do the work, but that attorney is always there to ensure that ethically, legally, we've crossed all those hurdles and helped the client hopefully achieve the outcome that they are interested in. All of our legal programs are accredited by the American Bar Association, which is very important to us. We hold ourselves internally at South College in every program to a very high level. But I think that our accreditation by the American Bar Association kind of demonstrates that to the public, that we really want to rise to the level and produce graduates that really can go out and be successful in any market that they are interested in working. The other thing that I think is really interesting about our legal programs is that all of the courses are taught by licensed attorneys. So for us, it's more than just what's in the books. You can go read a book, but we need our faculty, our licensed attorneys, to tell you about how that really impacts people. How are you going to argue that? What is the best case law? What is the research? And how does that really impact our clients and what we're doing every day to help people?
Yeah, I think, to me, I've had to deal on a personal level with paralegals periodically when you do things like buy a house. Sure. A paralegal is the one that's preparing all the documents. They send stuff to you, but they seem like they're really kind of the fact finder, to your point, under the supervision of a lawyer. But if for people who really love fact finding, they love looking for the detail, they love doing the research and digging in. And, you think about people that across your day who they seem to be really good at that. They want to look for detail. They want to kind of dig in a little bit, or they seem to enjoy just kind of digging for for clues on things, that's someone to me who I think would really kind of gravitate towards this kind of program. And paralegals, it's another profession that I think there is obviously continued need, continued growth, and they're needed on all sorts of fronts. And even if you're not interested in the criminal side, like I said, they work for mortgage companies, they work for land surveyors. I mean, anytime that there's anything legal involved, there's got to be a paralegal who's actually going to, be the one that's going to pull all the detail together. So I think that's pretty cool. Have you ever had a paralegal student that's gone on to law school?
Oh, tons. And that's one of the great things about the bachelor's in legal studies is you can complete the associate's degree. And then an additional about 18 months, you have your bachelor's degree. I have an undergrad degree in speech pathology. My husband has an undergrad degree in government and politics. We're both lawyers, and we went to law school at the same time. And we were both equally prepared for law school, which was not at all. We had no preparation for law school. We did not have any idea what we were doing. And there were many times where I thought, what in the world am I doing? But students who graduate with a bachelor's of legal studies are already studying some of the topics that they're going to tackle in law school. They're using those analytical skills that they're going to need to be successful in law school. There's nothing better than getting an email from a former student and they have Esquire at the end of their name. It's not the path everybody wants, but certainly it's a path that it will actually help you get a leg up in law school. I think graduates of the legal studies program know they want to go to law school. It's not like I'm going to embarrass myself. When I went to law school and we're like, well, this could be good. I don't know. The end of the story, I'll cut to the chase. It was good. I am glad I have my law degree. But it was kind of a roll of the dice and it could have gone either way. Our legal studies students aren't that. They know that this is something that they want to pursue. And so really the associate is kind of the launch point. I have a lot of students who come in and they're like, well, I never really thought I could go to law school. You're really telling me that I could do that? And I'm like, heck yeah, let's go. Let's get a plan. Let's start thinking about taking that LSAT. Let's start doing all the work to get there.
You had to bring up the LSAT. So I had a plan many, many, many moons ago about going to law school, and got very serious about it, and was preparing for the LSAT. I took 5 quarters of Latin in college. Because I know. So I figured that would give me a leg up. I did very well on the LSAT, and then, the internet called, and that's what I ended up doing. But, preparing for the LSAT, oh my word, that's a time in my life I never want to return to.
I have a file cabinet of practice LSATs, and I routinely, my Friday morning crew come in and they take practice LSATs and we grade them together and work the problems and talk about it. Because again, I want them to be successful, whether they decide I want to be a paralegal, I don't want to go to any more school, I love working in a law firm, I love working in this capacity, I'm all about it. Or they decide they want to get their bachelor's because they realize in 5 years I may hate the lawyer I'm working for and want to do something else. That's great too. Or I have students who come in and are gangbusters and they know that this is the direct path to law school into their goals. And I'm going to cheerlead and support and help them whatever path they're on.
I love that. That's amazing. Okay, yay! Let's hear it for lawyers. They don't get a lot of love most of the time.
No, until you need one, and then you love your lawyer.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Well, let's switch gears again. So emergency management, this gets asked about and commented on quite a bit on our social media pages. And I know because I see the comments and what this degree and what this program can actually do for you. Can you explain a little bit more about the associate and bachelor programs we have in emergency management? And then when they graduate, what they can end up doing?
Sure. So graduates of the emergency management program work at a local, state, or national level to help communities both prepare for and respond to natural disasters. So flooding, hurricanes, tornadoes, wildfires. It also can be, we're here near the Smoky Mountains. It can be individuals who are lost on a hike. It can be individuals who went skiing and there was an avalanche and we need to go do search and rescue or search and recover. And so the core phases of emergency management are prevention, mitigation, preparation, and response and recovery. And so really, these are individuals who are going to work both before, during, and then after the natural disasters. So they work with communities to say, hey, if there is a wildfire, what are we going to do? How are we going to help? How are we going to organize all of these different agencies that have to come together? Because if there's a wildfire, we don't just need fire support. We need medical support. We need housing for individuals. We need clean water, perhaps. We need a myriad of things. And how are we going to, as a community, whether it be local, state, or national, orchestrate that and get that together so that our citizens really can focus on getting through the day and looking towards rebuilding and prospering after probably some of the very worst days of their life.
Wow. Yeah, again, another really important key role. And it's amazing because when you think about it, you're right. We're here, in East Tennessee. We just watched our neighbors and actually our coworkers in Asheville just go through this absolutely once in a generation event with this terrible hurricane that came through. And I've been back and forth in and out of Asheville a dozen times probably since then. And I mean, when you see that devastation up close and you see just, the gorges that are full of trees and just full of debris and full of things. I mean, it really is overwhelming. But there has to be somebody in the middle of that to coordinate and to bring all of the different county services and federal services and together. So it sounds to me like people that have this kind of program in their background, these are the kind of jobs that they can find, and just coordinating and be a part of that frontline effort to help people, to your point, kind of get back to normal and find the services they need. Is that a fair statement?
Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely. I think I at least kind of take for granted that if there is bad weather, I grew up in the Northeast. So if there's a blizzard coming, that there would be warming centers, that there would be places to go, there would be people to help me, and never once really gave a thought to, well, how did all that get organized?
Yeah.
And who's paying for that? And how do people know what we're going to need? Because frankly, if a tornado came today, I'll be honest, I'm not sure I have a flashlight in my house with working batteries. Never mind,
I'm hiding in the basement, by the way. I'm the one in the basement with the cell phone handy.
So we need these people, because if you and I, Kathleen, we're not going to survive without these
Oh my goodness. Oh man. All right. So let's have a little fun here. Let's talk about you, because I think you have a really interesting background. I actually had no idea that you were a Juris Doctorate. So I have learned that. And before everybody goes and looks that up, that's actually the correct Latin term for a lawyer is a Juris Doctorate. So there you go. Learned something today if you didn't know that. So what's been your pathway to this point, and how did you get to South College?
I was a practicing attorney in Knoxville. I did mostly corporate litigation and a little bit of domestic, but tried to stay out of the icky feely stuff. And I'm much better dealing with corporations that make non-emotional decisions. And saw an
Have you decided to work in marketing? Come join us in marketing. There are no emotions here.
So I saw an ad to teach real property law at a little school called Knoxville Business College. And I thought, well, that'd be kind of interesting. And I went and I had this group of students, and that group of 16 students will never know the impact that they made on the trajectory of my life, because I love the law. I'm passionate about the law. But I didn't actually realize until I stepped foot into the classroom how much I really like teaching the law and kind of seeing how excited students get learning it. And I'll be honest, I feed off of that because it's so fun. They're so engaged and they have great questions. And so I started as an adjunct, taught a couple classes, and that is the time when Knoxville Business College was becoming South College. And the Bachelor's of Legal Studies was actually the first bachelor's program at South College, and they needed to hire a full-time faculty member. And so life lined up for Jennifer Jenkins, and I was fortunate that was offered the full-time faculty position and started teaching full-time. And frankly, I've never looked back because I get to enjoy the law. without nagging clients, but I get to also spend time working with students, which really is what touches my heart and really is kind of what gets me up and coming to work every day.
Oh, that's amazing. I love that. What a fun story, because you're right. You've managed to kind of join together the legal piece and the law, but then to your point, you get to teach, you get to impact others. And I actually also did not know that you're one of the earliest employees when the iteration of Knoxville Business School became the original South College.
Mm-hmm.
So that's cool. So you've really been here to see the change, as we announced 15,000 students not too terribly long ago. And I know that number is continuing to go up. So just a side question, how exciting has it been to see it grow from, just a small handful of students in one campus in Knoxville, Tennessee, and now we're at 10 campuses and over 15,000 students? What do you think?
It's amazing. I often tell Mr. South that I really needed a better seatbelt because, it is like a rocket ship going. And every time I hear a new program, people are like, really? I didn't know how South College had that. And I'm like, you just wait. You just wait. If we don't have it today, we'll have it tomorrow because, we meet the needs. We want to help students succeed. And if it's in this area, if it's emergency management, then we're going to pivot and meet that need. No, it's been amazing. I feel fortunate to work with a group of people that are so committed, and also to work at an institution that really is responsive, that's not stuck in the mud, but responsive, willing to grow, willing to make changes, and willing to kind of keep moving.
Yeah, I have to agree with that 100%. And then the other piece of news for you, obviously, is a big congratulations on being named the new Senior Dean of Professional Studies. So how exciting was that, and to learn that information?
I'm thrilled. I'm honored to have been chosen. I have worked alongside the School of Business, the School of Computer Science and Engineering, and School of Education for years. We collaborate on tons of different initiatives. And so to kind of firm that up and to set the professional studies division and kind of really unify us in a more formative setting, I think was really smart and really gives us really the ability in a firmer launch point to jump from.
Oh, that's
So
awesome. All right. So, talking about potential students and talking about kind of their interests, what advice do you have for someone listening who's, thinking about a program from our School of Legal Studies, especially criminal justice pathways, but also all the other things that we've talked about, and they've got maybe an interest or an inkling, but what advice do you have for them?
there will never be a perfect time. There never will be a perfect time. So if you're thinking about it, take the leap. Do it. Believe in yourself and know that everybody at this institution is bet on you too. And we will be there to support you, whether it's your faculty members, the staff members. Everybody comes to work every day in one unified goal to help you achieve your dreams, to help you get your degree and get working in an area that you're passionate about. Lots of times people are unsure which program. Maybe they are interested in criminal law and they don't know where they're paralegal, or they don't know criminal justice, or they don't know this, or they don't know that. Our admissions staff are awesome, but also you reach out to me. We will sit down, we will talk about it and figure out what really is the path that you want to be on. I love working with prospective students and talking. As you can tell, I could talk about these programs all day long. So if a prospective student wants to reach out, I am down for it, and we will chat and try to help kind of clarify what can be kind of an overwhelming and muddy issue. The other
Yeah.
thing I think to think about too is that our programs are either hybrid or online, because we really believe that school should fit your life rather than your life fitting into our school. And so, we want to set up programs that you can really be successful in and not have to shut down the rest of your life. I don't think I have ever had a student who the only thing they do is go to school. If you can do that, that is wonderful. But most everybody is also balancing kids, a job, taking care of parents, or whatever it is. And we recognize that and kind of pride ourselves really on helping you balance everything. And that's not to be said that we're not going to hold you accountable and you're not going to get an email from me if you don't do your homework. But we also understand everything you're balancing. But take the leap.
I love
There's
it.
no perfect time.
See, there you go. That's it. All right. Last question for you. What kind of student were you in school?
I was the nerdy student that sat in the front of the room, but probably never raised my hand because I was too shy and too quiet and too embarrassed. I
You
laughed because
I'm sorry. I
I
reject
know. I
that.
tell my students all the time that in law school, my favorite word in law school was Mr. because that meant I was not being called on. So, where every time I heard Mr., I was like, oh, okay, great.
Oh my goodness. But you were a good student though.
I was, but I was also fortunate that I had the ability to graduate high school, go right on to college, and then did a little detour to figure out what I really wanted to do, and then kind of stumbled my way into law school, which ended up being great. But, not everybody has that direct path that I had. And so I realized that I was fortunate in that.
Yeah, that's awesome. Wow. Well, if you're ready to jump into the action and not just watch it all on TV, we have got all the programs for you: certificates, associates, bachelor's, and even master's programs for legal studies. They're waiting for you at south.edu. I want to thank my guest, Dr. Jennifer Jenkins, Senior Dean of Professional Studies. And most importantly, make sure you answer her email when she sends you an email and wants to find you. Oh my goodness. This was so much fun. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And I look forward to working and talking about these programs even more.
I love that. We'll definitely come back to you at another time. Well, when we come back, we've got a 10-year celebration that's got all of us moving in a healthier direction. Well, maybe we'll have a slice of cake too. Stick around. We'll be right back.
When you start your new career path at South College, you'll join students from different walks of life at varying stages in their lives. Many students are going back to school to finish degrees, while others are pursuing elevated education that will help them improve their potential in their current roles or for chasing a new direction. South College offers over 100 programs and concentrations with specialized focus on associate, bachelor's, master's, educational specialist, and doctoral degrees in healthcare, business, technology, education, and legal studies. We are regularly developing new academic programs based on local, regional, and national trends. Each curriculum is designed to promote development of knowledge and skills in the associated discipline as we challenge and support our students. South College is committed to providing intellectual, social, and professional development to a diverse student body. With locations in Knoxville, Tennessee, Nashville, Tennessee, Atlanta, Georgia, Asheville, North Carolina, Orlando, Florida, Indianapolis, Indiana, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Dallas, Texas, and Marietta, Georgia, as well as programs delivered through Competency-Based Education, or CBE, and online. We're here with you every step of the way, starting with the admissions process. To find out more, visit South College at south.edu. South College, where dreams find direction.
Hey, welcome back. The Knoxville campus Doctor of Physical Therapy program, otherwise known as DPT, is celebrating 10 years of established and amazing education of doctoral students for physical therapy that have gone on to bright futures. This trailblazing program is the first accelerated hybrid DPT model in the country, and the program is designed to optimize time spent in the classroom and the lab, allowing you to complete a 2-year hybrid doctoral program from anywhere in the U.S. This program consists of 65 weeks of taught courses across 5+ academic quarters, as well as 31 weeks of full-time clinical education in a variety of settings, including an 8-week experiential portion and a 23-week terminal clinical experience. In this DPT program, you will develop essential skills in physical therapy, clinical practice, health promotion and fitness management, pediatric, aging adult, advanced diagnostics, business management, and so much more. And in Knoxville, we've been doing this for 10 years. Joining our slightly younger sister programs in Nashville and Atlanta, The Knoxville DPT program is the treadmill, and we are very excited to celebrate 10 great years. Congratulations to the students, staff, and founders of this amazing program. Now, let's cut the cake. And then they're probably going to make us run a few laps outside. At South College, we have over 100 programs and concentrations, from certificates all the way to doctoral degrees across healthcare, business, technology, legal studies, and so much more. You've got the dream, and South College has the direction. With 10 campuses across 7 states, plus online and CBE, there's a pathway for you at South College. Hope you enjoyed this latest episode of Live from South College. Want to thank my guest today. That was an awesome episode. Thanks for joining me. And if you love it, give us some stars, and you can always send us feedback by emailing us at southcollegepodcast@south.edu. Have an awesome day, and let your dreams find direction. See you next time.